What's up guys, we're back again here with another build video, this time for what I like to call the Blood Dragon Assassin. I had a ton of fun putting this build together. It's an absolute boss melter. It just destroys bosses, so I can't wait to share it with you. We're gonna go over the best weapons to get at the beginning for it, the best spells to buy for it, and then also kind of how the build's gonna evolve, and you're gonna switch some things around kind of as you progress through the story. So if you've respect and you're coming back in here with some points and you have some areas already unlocked, you could kind of just pick up wherever I'm leaving off there, so you can get kind of a head start on there. But before we go into the stats and look at the attributes and everything, I just kind of wanted to give a shout out and say thank you to everyone that on my last build video that you can see here. I got a lot of positive feedback on that, so I really do appreciate it. And I was just happy to see that I could help out some new players and maybe give some ideas to some experienced players to help them round out their build. So thanks again for that, and let's go ahead and get into this build. All right, so now let's check out these stats. We're gonna be pumping arcane hard here. We got 54. We actually only put 46 into it, but this helmet right here gives us +8, so that's always nice. Faith, now I have this at 23 for a reason, and that's because for your dragon spells, to get the upgraded version of that spell, which you have to kill the name of that dragon for that. So this is like Smaragd's Glintstone Breath, and then we just have the regular Glintstone Breath. You only need a 15 faith requirement to get that, but to get the upgraded you need 23, so that's why I'm at 23. So I'm not putting anything into intelligence. I do have 18 in the dexterity, but that is just for a level requirement on a weapon. But we're gonna go more into that here in a little bit. Strength is at 12 because I'm not needing that for any level requirements right now. Endurance is at 18. Mind is at 28, and that's just having this is kind of an FP heavy build. So you're gonna be using a lot of potions. And then when you run out of potions, you'll be able to switch over to your bleeds. And then vigor at 34, like I said, I'm gonna be putting some more into both of these. Okay, so now looking at the weapons, what you're gonna wanna start out with, because you are an arcane build, you're gonna wanna go with the Reduvia dagger. This actually has really good damage at the beginning. Even once you leveled up, it's really nice. So the way you get the Reduvia dagger, this is the beginning zone here at the first step. You just come over here, go into this lake, go right up here, and once you get about right here, I believe, it'll say you're being invaded, but that's actually an NPC, it's not a real player. You just kill them and you get the Reduvia. Now the Dragon Communion Seal, this is mandatory. This will make all of your dragon skills scale with arcane instead of faith. So this is a must-have. I'm gonna leave a link in the description on how to get this. It's just a quick video, explains on essentially you're just gonna be going into this dungeon here at the start. You're gonna need a stone sword key, and the video will show all that on how to get it. Now for gear, we're running this silver tier mask for the +8 arcane, and then we're just running Radahn's armor here because it has some nice poise to it, some nice defenses. I'm still running medium load, and I have 54 poise. Now down here, we're going Radagon Icon for the shortened spellcasting time. We got some more equip load. I change this kind of out sometimes depending on what I'm fighting. I was fighting a dragon solo here, so I went with this just to be able to attack more with my Reduvia. This is kind of OP, the Lord of Blood's Exaltation. This is, you build the blood loss in the vicinity, increases your attack power, so it just gives you more damage essentially. All right, so now before we get into when it's a good time to start changing your weapons up, if that's something you wanna do, after you get that Dragon Communion Seal, what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna kill this sleeping dragon. I'm gonna leave a link in the description below. It's gonna tell you how to kill a sleeping dragon to get 5 dragon hearts, and you'll also get 75k runes, which is a big bonus, help you level up. So you're gonna do that. It's really easy. You get the 5 dragon hearts. You're gonna need those 5 dragon hearts to be able to buy the spells. So now how you get the spells, you're gonna come over here, hit this coastal cave if you haven't done it already. When you get to the end of the cave and you beat the boss, you're not gonna wanna respawn back at the beginning of the cave like it'll ask you. It'll have that thing on the ground asking you that. You're gonna wanna go to the back of the cave. There's gonna be a tunnel there. You're gonna go through the tunnel, and it's gonna take you down here to the Church of Dragon Communion. It's gonna have 3 dragon spells. Really only one of them is good. The fire breath, that's the only one that I would buy if you wanna go with some fire. But what you're gonna essentially wanna do is, this is the starting point. You're gonna wanna come up here, go around, Go all the way up here. Just take your horse all the way down to this dragon communion right here. That's where we're at. This has a bunch more spells. The first one that I bought is the Rotten Breath. This thing probably does the most damage. It just completely destroys everything. So you're gonna wanna get that right away. I would try to get one of every kind of damage. So I would maybe just spend 3 off the bat out of those 5 you're gonna get. Get a Glintstone Breath and maybe a Fire, and then save the rest for getting the level 2 of that dragon. And that'll usually, you have to go kill that specific dragon to get this specific skill. So this is the name of that. So it's just the level 2 of the Rotten Breath, just an enhanced version. And it does cost 23 faith. That's why we have the faith at 23 to be able to use these. So now that right there will kind of get you started on your dragon spells. So now for switching out your melee weapon, we've been using the Reduvia because it scales with arcane. So it gives us a ton of damage. It has blood loss buildup. So you're building up that blood proc. You're hitting them with damage. It's scaling with arcane. But say you want to use another weapon. The katana, it doesn't scale with arcane at all. So you're gonna have a big damage drop off there. So what you're gonna want to do is you want to kill Radahn. This is the guy you want to kill. You get in through right here. So again, right here by this dragon communion, you want to come down here and you want to kill them as soon as possible. I killed Godric and Renala first, and then I came here to kill Radahn after. Now, the reason why you want to kill him is because it's going to open something called Nokron City, and that's located over here. It's underground. And when you go into Nokron City, you're going to get a ton of stuff. So what you're going to get is something called a black wet blade, I believe it is. The black wet blade is huge because when you use an Ash of War, what it'll do is it'll bring up this affinity called Occult. And this now scales your weapons with arcane, and that's what we need. That's what we need to be able to use other weapons for a ton of damage. That's big for this build. So you got to kill Radahn, go down to Nokron City. I am going to leave a link in the description for that as well. It's a very detailed description. It's from someone named Raging Reaper 1, I believe his name is. He does pretty good walkthroughs. So just giving a shout out to him. I'm going to leave that down in the description. You're going to get a ton of stuff down there. You're not only going to get the black wet blade, you're going to get this summons here, Mimic Tear Ashes. I leveled this thing up so fast because for some reason all I find is the ghost gloveworts. So I was able to level this thing up really quickly. What this does is it pops up a mimic of yourself. Pretty much you have a clone out there. It has your same skills. He pretty much does everything that you do. And he could tank a lot, especially when you start leveling him up. He's actually been one of the better summons for me. And I didn't have any other ghost summons to level him up with. So I decided just to dump them all into this summon, and it actually works really well. And then you're also gonna get 4 larval tears, and that'll help you do 4 more respecs, which is awesome. I believe you also get this Ancestral Spirit's Horn once you kill the boss down there. So now once you get that black wet blade from the Nokron City, you're ready to start venturing out into other weapons. I would recommend the Uchi-Katana because it already has blood loss buildup on there. It's got some pretty decent range and it's fast. And then what you want to do is you want to go with the Blood Slash on this for now until we get the next Ash of War. So the Blood Slash, then you're going to want to go Occult. Now you're going to scale that weapon with arcane damage. So you're going to do a ton of damage here and some bleeds. And then if you don't know by now, the Uchi-Katana is right up here, the Death Touch Catacombs. You just run around, dodge the skeletons, and you'll see it in there. So now with this setup here, as long as you've leveled up your Uchi-Katana a little bit, you got your Blood Slash, you got your Occult, you're going with the Dragon Communion Seal. I would be pumping as many stones into this thing as you can. Try to get it to +9 if possible, +8. And that should carry you from Radahn. You just killed Radahn, that should carry you all the way up into here to tear up all this content. You'll get into the Royal Capital here, kill Morgott, and that'll lead you into the snow here. Now, this is when things are going to change, and you're going to have some other options here for your weapons. You're going to want to come all the way up here. Up around this area, you're going to be on a freezing lake, and you're going to see these white footprints kind of going around. Once you kill that, you're going to get a new Ash of War called Seppuku. Now this Seppuku, it increases attack power and improves ability to inflict blood loss. So this is really strong here. We're gonna put this on the Uchi Katana under the occult setting to keep that arcane scaling. And then before you get into battle, you're gonna click L trigger. You're gonna use it. This will give you a certain amount of time of extra damage. So now that you have the Seppuku Ash of War, now you're not as limited to what to use. So you have a couple options here. If you already have that Uchi Katana that's leveled up, you could just throw it on there and it'll still do a ton of damage. You can even rock a shield with it, or you can go double katana. That's not really my style. I'm going with one of these two-handers. Now you can use the Godskin peeler. This is probably one of the best weapons for this build. The only problem is it does require 17 strength and 22 dex, but it is one of the hardest hitting weapons for this build. So there's a little bit of a trade-off there. If you do want this weapon though, it's past Renala and the Academy. You got to go all the way up in here into the north through the Grand Lift of Dectus. And you'll just take this road and go all the way around up here to the Windmill Village. And then once you get to the village, you go up to the top, you kill the boss and you'll get the weapon. Now I didn't want to have to waste those attribute points into strength and dex. So what I went with is the Twinblade. Don't sleep on the Twinblade. This thing does a ton of damage. My buddy has pretty close to the same build as me. He's rocking the Godskin peeler. And when we're in there, we're seeing pretty close to the same damage. He has a plus 20 Godskin peeler as well. So definitely don't sleep on the Twinblade. You can find the Twinblade down here in the starting area. So here's the first step. You just come over here into these ruins. And what you're looking for is a ruins that has walls all the way around it. You can't just jump into it. You will need your mount to get over the wall. And then you'll just go down into a cave, open up the chest, and you'll have your Twinblade. And I'm sure there are some other weapons that will do well in this. If you do know of any, please leave it down in the comments. So I would love to test those out. So now that we kind of got your weapons squared away, let's go ahead and look at the dragon spells here. So we're going to go with the upgraded DK. This is my number one right here. Upgraded Glintstone Breath, so upgraded magic, upgraded fire, and then just regular dragon ice because I haven't killed the upgraded one yet. I like to go with this Flame Cleanse Me because it cures poison and scarlet rot. That's actually really useful. And then just an urgent heal to throw on there. I'm keeping a space open for when I kill another dragon. You should be trying to do that, trying to co-op with friends and take out some of these named dragons that are around just to get their spells unlocked. Also, these are just the spells I'm using for right now. I do plan on updating these build videos with in-game spells and weapons, so keep a lookout for that. Right now, I think I'm playing co-op just a little bit too much, helping friends with dungeons and stuff, which is kind of hurting my progression through the game, but it's all good. It's fun, play with the homies. All right, guys, so I think we're wrapping up this build video here. If you guys have any questions about the build or even just questions in general about Elden Ring, I try to look at the comments as much as I can to help you guys out. I really don't mind it at all. Also, remember to throw me a like only if you found this video helpful, and maybe even drop a sub if you want to see more. And I'll see you guys in the next one.